What's going on, everybody? Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. And on today's episode, we have 2021 Nicolet, Wisconsin prospect, James Graham III. Very excited for you guys to listen to what James has to say today. We talk about his drive. We talk about his recruitment. We talk about his player comparisons, his game, and what motivates him to continue to get better and everything. But before we get into it, I ask that you please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. If you would, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, the like button, and let us know in the comment section below who you feel the most underrated prospect in the country in the 2021 class is. We want to hear that from you in the comments below. And if you enjoy what James has to say here, please feel free to share it across your platforms as well. But without further ado, here is James Graham III on the Absolute Basketball Experience with Jamie Shaw. Thank you guys very much. What is going on, everybody? Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. I am joined today by James Graham III. James, how's it going today?
I'm good. How's everybody doing? How you doing?
Man, things are good. Just trying to figure out this quarantine thing and you know, getting back to some normalcy. So you entered high school at 6'2". Now you're pushing 6'9". How has this helped or shifted your game, and how's that growth been on your body?
So, during my freshman year, just a scrawny 6'2" freshman, nothing too serious. But I think it was like towards my sophomore year, I think I grew to 6'6", 6'5"-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a crazy, thing for my knees. But, my parents have always instilled in me, my dad said, he watches basketball a ton, so I already knew, I need to be able to handle the ball regardless of how tall I was. And that's part of why one of the reasons I made the transfer to Nicolet was because I know I was going to be able to handle the ball, things like that. So pretty much, aside from the knee pain and things like that, and, adjusting my jump shot a little bit because, my arms got a little longer, you shoot a little higher because, you're a little taller. It was pretty much something that, I expected to come. My doctors, they always were telling me you're going to push 6'10", so things like that. So, I was waiting on it. And, the shift in my game, I posted up a lot more because, I was a lot more taller. I was a lot taller than everybody. So I got a lot of easy layups and things like that in post. So things like that.
So this past year, you averaged 20.2 points, 6.6 rebounds. You shot 42% from three. How would you say the season went for you individually?
Individually, the season, it was really good. Not everybody plays with, a five-star. Not everybody can play with, we had 3 20-point per game scorers on our team, because, we moved the ball out amongst the three of us, me, Jalen Johnson. So we, it was a fun thing. Individually, though, I played well. I got the chance to showcase a lot of things by myself. Once Jalen and Jamari left, everybody doubted Nicolet kind of. I kind of kept us, on top. We were 16-3, I want to say, before Jalen came back. And then when he came back, we were the favorites to win state again. But I thought we could have did it without him. But, when he did come back, though, the things it allowed me to showcase, was I could handle the ball a lot more because he took a lot of the post-up role when he came back. So I was handling the ball a ton, which was great. I got a chance to show a different side of my game. But at the same time, individually, I played really well this season.
And then as a team, as you mentioned, you guys finished up 22-3 on the season. But the state playoffs were canceled in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Do you ever sit back and play the what-if game? Like, what if, we would have been able to play, get that championship and all that stuff?
Yeah, man. That week was really tough for the Nicolet team. We had a couple of seniors who've been in the program for all 4 years, who they played JV. So, they were JV players for 3 years, and they finally got a chance to play varsity, and they didn't get a chance to win the state championship, which really sucks because, I always thank God for the things I have, height, skill, athleticism, and, some people just don't have that, So the fact that they had to work, they had to hone in their skills, and the fact that they did that and they weren't able to get that opportunity to be rewarded with the state championship really sucks. And it was a tough feeling for me because I knew I had one more year. I knew the pandemic wasn't going to stop me like it was going to stop them. They might never play a organized game of basketball again unless they go to a league or something. Not the NBA, but a YMCA league or something. But
sure.
It really sucks, because you feel their pain.
So your high school teammates, as you mentioned, with Jalen Johnson, Duke signee, 5-star and all, how lethal of a duo were you guys? I mean, you're both tall, skilled, all that type of stuff. Like, how lethal were you two?
We were a really good duo. Kobe, of course, was, we also had a trio, but, in terms of me and Jalen, before he came, there was a lot of double teams on me in the post. So what teams started doing is, they run like a kind of, I would say like a 2-3 zone, but they just had the 3 at the bottom.
Yeah.
Me and Jalen on the block, so they would kind of just switch off who they double team, whoever got the ball. So, like we would just pass it to each other pretty much out the post and just get dunks the whole game. He pushed the ball a lot. We were a lethal lob team. That transition was amazing for us because, if me, Jalen, or Kobe got the rebound, we could push, right? And we all three of us are capable of passes, we were a really lethal duo because, it's really hard to stop. It was hard to stop 6'8", and then now you have 6'10" and 6'8" on the block. So it was hard for teams in our conference to handle.
And he went through everything previously that you're going through now with all the media, the recruitment, all that kind of stuff. Has he been helpful for you throughout this recent process that you've been?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I talked to Jalen numerous times. I asked him for advice on how to play, asked him for advice on how to handle the pressure. And he's come through with some big-time advice. He's helped me with my recruitment because he's telling me, he knows I'm getting all these offers and things like that. But he's telling me, the schools that are taking the time to talk to your parents, taking the time to talk to your coaches, taking the time to talk to you a lot are the teams that really want you and really want to use you. So I'm definitely looking out for those schools. That's what I tell schools. I'm like, if you want me, I have some people who've told me good things, and they tell me, man, that you got to talk to my parents, you got to talk to me a lot. So it's really interesting to see who really wants you and who really doesn't.
So your sophomore year, you picked up Rutgers, DePaul, and Milwaukee offers. Mm-hmm. Fast forward 10 months, then all of a sudden May hits, and you've added 12 offers from national powers from all over the place. Why do you think the sudden blow up over these last few weeks?
So the thing I've been telling people is, it's kind of the way I marketed myself. Pretty much, I knew I could play. So I knew the pandemic was coming. So every time I got in the gym, I had a camera. Every time I played runs, I had a camera. I was recording everything. And the thing that surprises me or surprised the coaches is they would watch my game film, they would see the flashes, and I would send them workout film, or I would send them, me live or me playing 5-on-5, so they could see the changes in my body, they could see the changes, they could see the progress I was making, and they were like, wow, so you really have a really good work ethic, and that's pretty much what coaches they know about me is they know I compete, they know I'm going to work hard. So when I'm sending them tapes, I'm always on their backs. If I get interest from a school, like the first time Coach Steffens from Michigan State hit me, I was sending him every single tape I had on my phone playing the game, after the pandemic, because they had my game from, I sent them everything, right? And that's how I ultimately got on the phone with Izzo. Like, you have to continuously be on their backs because, they're busy people. They're recruiting us. You're not the only one. I understand that. I'm a realist. I get that. So you have to constantly be reminded of where you are, who you are, how you feel you play. And that's what I did.
And this is all coming during a pandemic. You're not able to travel and all this kind of stuff. How are you handling this process without being able to travel and see these places face to face?
I mean, the Zooms they are a blessing and a curse. I got a ton of them. But at the same time, it's allowed me to knock out colleges and seeing things without having to leave. So when people ask me how are you getting them so fast, the offers and things, I would say, it's kind of funny because I feel like if it wasn't for, the pandemic, the offers would be a lot more spaced out. So it would look a lot more, like it's actually happening instead of it's fake, because, so things like that. But, Zooms they're hectic, man. And I'm doing a ton of them and I like it.
And you're on the FaceTimes and Zoom calls with these coaches doing these virtual tours and all this stuff. What does that look like?
So from my experience, the Zooms are pretty much, you get on the phone call, your parents, you can have your parents, your family, whoever you would like. They ask you that, you sit down, they introduce their staff, the strength coach, assistants, player development, player operations, head coach, of course. Then, you pretty much talk about the school, academics, tuition. You go into their offense and defense. That stuff before is pretty much run by operations, and then offense and defense, of course, is run by the head coach. And the strength coach gets their own segment, stuff like that. And some schools personalize it. Some schools put you in it, and it's kind of cool. But then some of them don't, which is also cool. But they whatever position you are, I'm a wing, so they show me their wing highlights. They show me what they think I can do out of their wing system. For guards to be guards, for bigs to bigs. So, and then after that, you pretty much they get closing remarks, they wrap up, and if you get offered, you get offered. If you don't, you don't. But still, it's a great thing to have, regardless of if it's an offer or not.
And during this time, it's all new to you and all that kind of stuff. What schools would you say are recruiting you the hardest?
Right now, I hear from Maryland a decent amount. I like Coach Turgeon. I like Coach Beam. I hear from Florida State a lot. Let's see. I mean, I've recently talked to them. I got offered by Michigan State a couple of days ago, so it's expected of them to be hitting me up a decent amount. So I talked to them. I talked to Xavier. It's a couple schools that are really taking the time to hit me up. Auburn, but I got them yesterday, so I can't really say it's consistent yet. But it's definitely a couple schools who are really trying to push it.
And what kind of stuff are these schools? Are these, I guess, schools telling you?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot Vanderbilt. But like things like the Vanderbilt coaches, like when we just FaceTime. They just like hit me up because like they know I'm a FaceTime guy, so they just FaceTime like what you doing, things like that. That's what they pretty much do. Or like you get in the weight room today, what you eat today, stuff like that. I mean, like they're not really. Every time they call you, it's not it doesn't have to be about sports. You want to talk and catch up.
So as you're going through this process, what is it that you're looking for in a school at the next level? Locationally, is it style of play? Is it a track record with players, all that stuff? What are you looking for at the next level?
So to answer your question about location is not a factor for me. Factors for me would be academics, of course, because my parents want me to, have a life after basketball, which is expected. Second, I want a coaching staff that is proven. They produce pros. They've developed pros. They've done one and dones. They've done three and dones, things like that. I want a winning coaching staff, a proven coaching staff. And then finally, I want, pretty much, I want 24/7 access to the gym. Mm-hmm. I want to be pushed. I want to be developed. I want to have the opportunity to be in the gym when I want, things like that. And I think that's what pretty much all schools can provide. So pretty much it's just, coaching staff has to be proven. They have, or not proven. They have to prove they can win, things like that. They have to prove they can produce pros, and the academics have to be solid.
And then, do you have a timeline as to when you're looking to kind of narrow things down and start making decisions?
Yep. So I want to narrow things down pretty soon. Mm-hmm. I feel, when players are dropping top 10s and things like that, I feel it's real obvious who the leaders in your recruitment are. Mm-hmm. I feel, top 10s are kind of foolish because how do you build a strong relationship with 10 schools? Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like narrowing down pretty soon, and I want to commit before I go into my senior year if I get a senior year. So, yeah.
So you're listed at 6'9", 205. You got a 7'2" wingspan, and you shot 42% from three this season, 5 attempts per game. How would you describe your game?
First, I got to be honest with you. I'm still probably legit. I'm legit 6'8". Mm-hmm. I don't know who put 6'9", but I won't tell them to change it. But I won't tell them to change it. But, my game, my idol, man, Carmelo Anthony. And I think players in the state can attest to it. I love that mid-range isolation in a post, jab, step backs, top of the key. I'm a sidestep, step back kind of guy. Couple crossovers, get you jumping a little bit, sidestep, create a lot of space, things like that. I can get to the rim. I'm not a guy that's super aggressive when attacking the rim, unless my jump shot's falling, I'm gonna be shooting that guy. Yeah. But I need to work on getting to the rim. But I play a lot like Carmelo in terms of isolation player. But I think I'm more a better system player than Melo because I don't need the ball. Because I also, as you listed, I'm a 50-point shooter. I have problems staying in the corner, come off the screen, things like that. But when the ball's in my hands, man, I'm looking to score.
And then you say that you're in the gym relentlessly during this pandemic and stuff. What type of stuff are you working on your game?
So during Nicolet season, the early parts of the season, I was more of a forward. I posted up a lot, shot a lot of threes. But towards the end, I started working on ball handling a lot more. I started bringing the ball up a lot more, pushing the ball a lot more, dribbling off the dribble moves in game. So what I pretty much took into the summer is, right now I'm a 3-4. Let's turn it to a 2-3, right? Let's become more of a ball handler, more of a dynamic player off the dribble. So that's pretty much what I've been working on constantly since, the pandemic. I'm in the gym every day, 3 o'clock. My trainer, his name's Rel Johnson. He's on Instagram. I'm in training. I'm in day with him every day. So we're working every day ball handling. He was a guard, ball handler. I'm doing it all. I work out with guards. When I go to runs, I'm bringing it up. I'm not, if I have to post up, you can put a guard on me, of course, but I'm bringing it up. I'm working on my ball and I'm getting real time work with this. I've cut, as far as diet and things like that go, I've cut soda, chips, fast food out completely. I'm lifting a lot more. Mm-hmm. I go to athlete performance, to work out a lot more, lift a lot of weights. That's what I'm hearing a lot. Coaches look at me in the Zoom, they're like, you got to get strong. You got nice shoulders. You can feel your frame out. And that's what pretty much I've been doing, man. The offers I'm getting, if you want to go to Michigan State, if you want to go to Florida State, these are top 10 teams in the country. You need to, look like a top 10 player in the country. You got to be built like that, and those are NBA guys. You got to be built like an NBA guy. So that's pretty much my next step. I got the skills. My next step is to get the body out.
And naturally, you're one of the hottest names in the country right now. You're getting offers from everywhere, all over the place, but you're still not ranked. Do you look at the rankings at all, and does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder?
So, to be honest with you, not being ranked has never really affected me. In the state of Wisconsin, I've always been ranked fairly low. Like my freshman year, I was ranked like 17th. My sophomore year, I was ranked like 14th. This year, I was ranked like, I think I'm 4. So like, I mean, rankings have never really mattered to me because, you know, I've always considered, you know, not even accolades. I've always considered like, you know, recognition from coaches more, right? Like college coaches. So like, even now, like I got snubbed for the all-state team, didn't make an all-state team or the all-state team. So, you know, rankings, accolades never really meant nothing to me. And it's always given me a, you know, a drive, I don't come from a poor neighborhood like some of these kids. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying they have to literally fight to survive. You know, they have to play basketball to get their moms out. I don't have to do that. So my motivation has to come from something else. And I think it actually comes from, you know, always being counted out. You know, when I was younger, I injured my leg really badly and the doctor said I couldn't walk. I walked again. You know, when I was born, they said he only has 3 weeks. I'm 16 years old. So, you know, I've always been counted out. I've always been, you know, not hated on, but, you know, people never really thought about me like that. So it's always been a chip on my shoulder. It always has been.
And then if we get back to playing this summer, like AAU, they extended to August or September like they're talking about. First off, I guess, who would you be playing with? And secondly, what are some matchups that you're looking forward to taking on head on this summer?
Okay, so I'm playing with Player on Warriors on Under Armour circuit. I mean, I don't think a lot of players are putting that out, who they're playing with, so I don't really know who to look forward to play. But I do know Chet was on Under Armour. I would love to play Chet. You know, he's a good guy. You know, he's a great player. You know, I love to play him. I don't know who else. I guess the Wisconsin guys play Under Armour too, like Chucky Hepburn, Matthew Morris. So, I mean, I don't know if they're still playing with Under Armour, you know, but I would love to play some of these, you know, guys who've committed to schools around me in the Under Armour circuit. I would love to play Chet. You know, and whoever else is a top player in the Under Armour circuit, I would love to play. I have no fear.
And what are your goals moving forward, you know, toward this summer and then into next season? What are your goals?
You'll be surprised by this. You know, most players say, I don't be knocked down as All-American, you know, things like that. I'm just looking to win a state championship and go to college, man. That's all I'm going to do, win a state championship.
That's awesome. Well, James, I appreciate your time. It's been unbelievable to see your rise, and I can't wait to see what, you know, the next couple months and then the next couple years have in store for you.
I really appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. I'm glad. Absolutely. I'm glad that you took this time, and glad that we got to talk a little bit, and let's stay in contact.
For sure.
Guys, thank you all very much for James Graham III. I am Jamie Shaw on the Absolute Basketball Experience. We'll see you next time.